Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Industry Talks with my good friend, the CEO and founder of Swarm and Swarm Entertainment Group, Javi Zayas. Javi, thank you for being here, man.
Thank you for having me, and I'm excited.
Awesome, brother. Listen, we go way back. I'm just going to dive right into it. You're an inspiration to many people. You were very successful. You started off as a promoter, and you've come together and put together what I believe is one of the most successful event companies in South Florida, and definitely a conversation to be one of the top event companies in the state and beyond, right? And I gotta say, your story is incredible. I've known you for many years, but you started off as a promoter and you ended up with an entertainment company. How did that happen, man?
Actually, I started off as a DJ. When
You were a DJ?
12, 13, during the whole Sweet 16, Quinceañera era. My grandma bought me some CD, Genesis mixers, and I started doing these house parties. And then I realized that, I could bring people to actual events. And so I became a host and a promoter. And then, and then I grew from there. And then I studied marketing at FIU.
Okay.
So I got a little bit more of like education on marketing and promoting. And then met you, promoted for you for many years on the beach when I was probably 18 to 22.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I celebrated my 21st birthday at Crowbar.
At Crowbar?
I make sure with the marquee, like I was doing, I think my middle fingers, but I don't know. I haven't seen. I haven't been able to get into MySpace well.
To find that.
But really cool. Then I graduated at FIU. I went to work for an advertising agency for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. Learned like more corporate agency side, and then I got out of there, or phased out of there, and was still the promoter at night. Advertising PR guy during the day, more as an intern, entry level, but I got out of that office experience, and then I
burned the candle both ends, daytime and nighttime.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, combined the two, and then we created a promoter kind of company that was doing different hotel lounges and clubs, and Brickell was on the up and up, and we were in the Martini every Wednesday for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, you had a ladies' night, right?
Ladies' night on Wednesdays, which was, I lived there for every Wednesday with Angel and these guys, and then the events came around because we were doing we partnered in on a tequila taco bar called El Bato.
El Bato, yeah, I remember that.
And I didn't know how to drink tequila. One day I was drinking tequila, and obviously I was more buzzed than usual. And then there was a parking lot across the street. And I walked over, and so it happened that there was the parking lot operator, and I said, "Hey, Cinco de Mayo's coming up. Can we rent this lot from you and do a big tequila taco block party?" And he's like, "Cool. You want a beer?" He had a beer there, so we had a couple of beers. We talked. We became friends. Mario.
I remember this person.
Yeah.
This was like what, 2006, maybe? 5?
Yeah, it was
5, 6,
6, 7, 8, because we were doing already Cinco de Mayo, St. Patrick's Day, Halloween events, but I'm more as promoter at clubs like Finnegan's on the River. This was the first event from the ground up.
Okay.
And then we got that going. Then we had St. Patrick's Day block party, which is coming up. I shouldn't say that, right? But and then the Sam Adams caught wind of us, and then we did the official Samuel Adams Oktoberfest in Brickell, and we ran that for 12 years. I think last year was the first year that we didn't do it, but yeah, so it started our event kind of production from the ground up, not just as a promoter, but as an actual event producer.
Nice. So you were promoting, and the parties basically got bigger, and then you took them out of the box and into the streets.
Into the streets, literally, and then we started kind of spawning off different services that we were doing our own in food and beverage. So we got licensed to be a food and beverage concessionaire. We were doing our own marketing, promotions. Obviously, we were promoters, so we started a little marketing agency that we were then now selling to restaurants and selling to bars. So we kind of just started spawning off different variations of the entertainment and event industry.
Yeah. So then, obviously, these events are happening in Brickell, and I remember being there, and I remember seeing them going on because I had Space at the time, but this was totally different because it wasn't necessarily electronic music. This was like,
congratulations on 25 years of Space.
Oh man, thanks, dude. Honestly, I'm really happy that the guys that own it right now are doing such a good job. And Space is
one of my best clients, and we're friends. So
that's good. That's good. I gotta ask you questions on that, but before I do, you were doing these parties. You were doing them in Brickell, and I remember we were in downtown, and these parties were like they had a wide range of guests, and it was and attendances, and it appealed to a broader audience. But eventually you made a jump from Brickell to Wynwood.
Interesting. Yeah. So with events in the whole promotional and the entertainment world is always looking at what's next, like what's the next hot topic, what's the next hot trend that you can jump out ahead of.
Yeah.
Back then, my partner and I created this like Facebook. There was a lot of curiosity about Wynwood. It was very, on the up and up. There was just these cool grungy galleries, maybe one restaurant. So we created this Facebook page called Wynwood Life.
Yeah.
And they started getting all these follows and follows and follows and follows. And he came up to me with the idea of saying, hey, we should do an art, music, food, and fashion festival to cure the curiosity about Wynwood, give the people, the local people in Miami, an opportunity to come to Wynwood. It's going to be safe. We're going to have police, we're going to have security. They can check it out. And then, and that's how the whole relationship started with Wynwood and the Mana guys that are now still my landlords now 13 years later.
So this is 13 years ago.
About 13 years ago, we did a Wynwood Life. Maybe off of 1 or 2.
2012.
Yeah, 2012, 2013. And it was a festival. And then that turned into us taking over and organizing their art walk, second Saturdays. They had the food truck rally, which is a big mess because food trucks are just like pirating the streets. And we ended up organizing the food trucks.
Yeah.
We put a bar there, put a DJ, and that's how it all started. And that's the home of what is now one of our biggest projects, concepts, which is the Wynwood Marketplace.
Got it.
And that's where it's at. Where now we have Sip and Pickle, we have Wynwood Skate, we have the bar concept, we have the food concepts, we have the event space that we use.
Yeah, so I remember you were doing all the events over there and you're catering all these events for everyone else and you're producing some of your own, you're working with promoters, and then you spun off a space that, Wynwood Marketplace that had, basically it was every weekend and it's open to the public, and now you have basically your own spot. And you're crushing it. You're getting tons and tons of people. Is Wynwood Marketplace, how's it doing now, and how has it evolved? Because you just mentioned a bunch of stuff right now, like Sip and Pickle, stuff like that.
It's good. It's good, and there's good and bad. Like in business, there's ups and downs and ebbs and flows, and we're seeing a decrease in nightlife. But we've been able to launch these more daytime activities like Sip and Pickle, which is like a social pickleball club where we have music and you come and play pickleball. It's that simple, and you have some drinks if you want. If not, there's some bites. But it's all around entertainment, music, fun. Even though we got some serious players, it's more about like
it's a social thing.
So
it's like a pickleball social event.
And then we have Wynwood Skate, which has actually been a hit.
So wait, what's Wynwood Skate?
So it's we have a skating rink in the heart of Wynwood. You come with your own skates, we can rent you skates. We own skates, and you can just skate outdoors. There's music going on day and night. There are lights at night. We're doing now we're doing skate glow. So Fridays and Saturdays you could skate glow in the dark. The same with Sip and Pickle. We're doing something called Raven Pickle.
Pickle.
So Fridays and Saturday nights after 7 and before I think midnight, we have glow in the dark pickleball.
So the experience is you come to do this sport or come to skate, right? This is back in the day we used to do Hot Wheels as kids, but and at the same time people are hanging out, they're drinking, there's a social, they're meeting each other people, so it's a social thing.
It's 100% a social thing. I mean, the whole thing's about experiences, and that we are so happen to be in the heart of Wynwood, so we get a lot of walking traffic. We do a lot of marketing and promotions, and yeah.
Holy moly! Well, listen, obviously that's worked out well, and in the whole process, I remember, obviously I think I was probably the second person to ever produce an event at Mana. I think the 3 Points was the first one. I think they did their first iteration and we came right after them. But that's obviously blown up too in terms of the amount of events, the quality of events, and the amount of business that you've been catering to there.
So we were one of the first to, along with you and the 3 Points, to kind of like really the risk and take the big risk and go in front of the city and get permits and all of that, and sure, now Wynwood is like the epicenter of all events. The Mana Convention Center has like a convention every other week now. There's 3 Points, which is the largest event by far that 3 Points. I mean that
in
Wynwood does.
Yeah,
it's like 35,000 people and growing every year to year. But yeah, we're a part of the majority of the things that happen in Wynwood. Happily, we're also a big partner with the local Wynwood bid. So we can, we constantly try to drive traffic to not just us, but other businesses too, because we feel like, if everybody, all ships, what is it? Like, the tide rises, all ships rise.
All ships rise, yeah.
And that's the truth. Like, it's important to drive people, and they can have a beer with us. They can go have a hot dog over here, smash burger over here, taco over here, come back and have a drink.
So you're really involved with the community.
Yeah, we try to be as much as we can. We try to help together.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember going to meet with you, and it's like a different restaurant, different thing. You know everybody. You pound the pavement. You really try to support
on the pavement. Yeah.
To support everyone around you. So obviously, you just talked about a lot of events, or you just briefly mentioned a few of them. You've been there now 12 years producing events, working with events. What are some of your fondest event memories that you've had there in Wynwood?
I mean, we've definitely gone through a lot of battles, a lot of war zones. I would say the one that comes to mind first is the album release of Kanye.
Got it.
Right, which it was supposed to be on the Sunday. It happened. They reached out to us on the week of Basel, which we're fully booked, fully committed, not just in Wynwood, but across the city. And they said, hey, we want to do this launch party on Sunday after you guys close in the marketplace. We have this concept that we do during Basel called Hive. We're like, okay, cool. But they didn't get back to us till Saturday night. And it was too late to do it on Sunday, so they pushed it to Monday. And it was one of these things where I stayed up from Sunday night after closing in Wynwood, till 3 or 4 in the morning. These guys got out of, what's it called? Live on Sundays.
Got it.
They were at party at Live on Sundays. They didn't want to make a decision till 2 or 3 in the morning. So I was at the hotel room there, the Arlo Hotel in Wynwood, and they called. They're like, hey, we're doing it tomorrow, which is Monday. This is Monday morning. And I said, cool, we got to draw up the contract. You guys got to send the deposit over by 7, 8 in the morning as soon as the bank opens, because if not,
Yeah.
So that was literally something we had our vendors on hold. They were coming to already pick up. We had to plan it all literally overnight and produce a show from, I would say, 8, 9 in the morning. They signed the paperwork till 8 o'clock at night that they opened their gates. So 10, 12 hours, our team was full throttle. Pretty much converted the whole space.
Who performed? I remember it was Kanye. Was his daughter performed that day? Was it?
Daughter performed, Kodak Black. I mean, a ton of artists.
Oh my God.
Artists. It was crazy. It was probably.
How did people find out about it?
Their marketing. We pushed it a little bit, but they wanted to control their marketing, so they did a lot of guerrilla stuff, and yeah, it was 3,000 or 4,000 people that showed up, but it was just more the amount of things that were happening all at one time. Like every other half an hour was another artist, and it was the artists come with green rooms, writers, where they're going to park, how they're going to get in, security. So it was boom. It was pretty impressive, and very happy and proud that my team was able to
secure that,
to execute that madness, because it was madness.
Holy moly, man! That's I can't imagine the amount of stress and or last minute.
We kind of thrive off that, that's our thing.
That's when you perform best.
A little bit of a love for that thrill in order to be in this business and do it right.
You get the thing inside your stomach where it's do or die. Your back is against the wall.
It's a lot of stress, but then you look at while the event's going on and you see what you've accomplished. It's so satisfying that you continue to do it and do it better.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine there's easier ways to make money.
I'm sure there is. Trust me, I've been looking.
Oh my God. All right, so that's one that definitely stuck out of your mind, and obviously so you dealt directly with the artist at that point. And
we were dealing with the artists and the management and their attorneys. Yeah, we were. There was not a we were the agency.
And but then you've also done things with promoters in Wynwood too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Who are some of the best promoters? I mean, I gotta say, top 3 promoters
I would say
you've worked with.
Emmy Guerrilla.
Oh no.
Louis Diaz and Emmy Guerrilla. No, actually, we really enjoyed working with you guys, and that's not a joke.
But I mean, the guys that are promoting today, I think there's
Insomniac's one of our biggest clients. Love the local guys, love the national guys. They're great to work with. A lot. They do a lot, and we do a lot with them.
What events are you doing?
We are the food and beverage partners for 3 Points.
Nice.
For many years. We support their outside of Factory Town, their events at Lot 11, we did Michael Beebe during Basel.
Oh, that was cool. That was in the middle of downtown.
Really cool.
Right in front of the courthouse, right?
Courthouse.
That was
very
so
awesome.
cool.
And that's we love them because they're always thinking outside the box and keeping us on our toes. And
that's amazing.
And then who else? I really enjoy working with Paco Lopez out of Puerto Rico, one of the biggest Puerto Rican promoter, and he brings us a lot of shows, and we have a good work.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You have some big shows coming up right now too, right?
We have some big shows. Music Week, we are fully booked at the Marketplace with Eric Fuller and Blank Canvas. They're also doing other projects in and around Wynwood, which we're doing the food and beverage for. We have a lot of, so there's a big soccer tournament starting in June, July, and August, which AFA, the Argentine Federation Association, is sponsoring our venue. So we're going to be showing all the games. So we're excited about that. Where Wynwood Marketplace has become like a really big hotspot to watch soccer.
That's amazing.
And we're gearing up for the World Cup. We did Copa America. The official Copa America watch party location was the Marketplace. Now with the cup coming up, and hopefully with the FIFA World Cup, we're gonna be doing some big things.
So when you do soccer, actually, now that I remember, you did a great pop up for World Cup. You did now you're talking about AFA, and you're talking about Copa America. You've always had an eye for picking these sort of either sporting events or other ones that and just pop up these Super Bowl. I think you did one.
We do Super Fast as we do one of our larger ones that's actually growing year to year is Racing Fan Fest, which is an off campus F1 racing fan experience.
Yeah,
so it's a fan zone for fans of racing. We don't charge anything. A lot of our events, or the majority of our events, are free.
What's that event like? Like, what do people experience when they go to the F1?
So that's obviously the same weekend as F1 here in Miami, the Miami Grand Prix. We have the official Red Bull fan zone. It takes place within the Marketplace, and they have like pit stop challenges, simulators, a bunch of cool stuff. We have big brand sponsors like Heineken was a part of last year. And they just do activations, experiences.
They bring the race cars.
They bring the race cars. They bring the race car drivers. We show the official the race officially. This year we're having concerts in the back with different promoter partners that we're going to announce in the next.
A lot of people go. How many people go to this thing?
We probably do 50 to 60,000 people throughout the weekend.
50 to 60,000 people throughout the weekend.
Thursday through Sunday. It's a free event. And then the private concerts. Add another, 10,000 people maybe throughout the weekend too. So
that's a lot of people. It takes a lot of work to produce or to manage, I guess, the experience for all these people. Yeah,
good team. Good team. We have a good team.
Infrastructure. Good team and good infrastructure.
Yeah, and a lot of patience. So
soccer, F1.
Fan experiences are a big hit. Soccer, because, Miami's a big soccer market, has been successful.
It's definitely grown recently.
Yeah, definitely, recently. Inter Miami has a lot to do with it. But
yeah, absolutely.
But we also have a lot of I love, the Colombia. I'm a Colombian soccer fan because they just love to,
they do. When Colombia plays, it's a party.
Go out and you're really remember this year, I think it was when the World Cup was hosted in Russia.
Yes.
The games were Tuesday mornings at 8 a.m. And we have this concept called Watch the Cup around World Cup. We're let's try it out at the Marketplace in the front. We'll just open up a little portion of it and see who shows up on a Tuesday. And I think Colombia was playing, I don't know who. And I had the whole team. It was an 8 a.m. game, so I had the whole team come. They come in at 9:30, and I said, "Hey, guys, just show up a little earlier. Let's fill the place up." At that time that the office there was 60 people working, so 30 or 40 of them showed up. And it just at 8:30 in the morning, you couldn't move in that place. We had to expand, throw TVs, and it was
probably a little short staffed. You're like, oh my God.
Staffed. I had my accountants running drinks back and forth. and let's put it like this: they didn't show up to work that day, right? Everybody was a little they got caught in the moment, but it was a good time. But yeah, so we're big Colombia fans. Yeah, definitely.
That's amazing, dude. Listen, so you've obviously. So obviously the path to success isn't a straight line. You've obviously had many events that have done incredibly well. But I can honestly say I've probably, speaking for myself, I've probably failed more times than I've succeeded. What's the biggest hit you've ever taken? And, or at least some of the biggest hits you've ever taken, and maybe the lessons you learned on that.
Yeah, so man. Okay, so 2, 3, 4 come to mind. Well, let's put the most recent one. Not recent, but when we launched Racing Fan Fest, F1 fan experience, we went all in. We had a lasso as a closing party, and I don't want to talk numbers, but
no, but It was a massive hit.
Big bath. It was a big bath, and it was unexpected, right? So we weren't.
What went wrong, you think?
I think we just over. I could sit here and say we did it on purpose. We built a brand. We got the we came out in every single publication, but we miscalculated. It was a hit.
You expected more people, investors,
more people, more partners, more sponsors, and we overinvested and we overspent on acts, DJs, experiences, and but it was a big learning curve. But we stuck to it, which is something that I believe in. Like, hey, if you really believe in something, like just as long as you could financially withstand that risk, keep at it, because it's not always about money, right? There's values that are intrinsic that you gain from these time and money investments, and it paid off. Like the first year we lost a lot of money. Second year we broke even. Third year we
started making some money back.
We made some good money, and then this now, I think it's the fourth year coming up, we're going to be making some, and then now it's going to start paying off. And but yeah, we took a big hit. The similar hit we took. We did a Colombian Independence Day back in Bayfront Park. I don't know. This was so long ago that I remember the number was like 666 of what we lost, and I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
It was when that hurt more because it was a lot less to lose from them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, but again, we took that event, we took that loss, we took it as a lesson. We moved it back to Wynwood. We did it.
What'd you learn? What was the lesson?
I guess the lesson with these attempted events that have lost a significant amount of money is that you have to honestly analyze the data real time, so you can pivot and make changes as you go, and not just have this like trust and blind faith at something that you think is going to happen. You have to monitor. You have to not be scared to come back, and not be scared of what people are going to think. Like, hey, you have this big DJ and it was not working in the next amount. Let's cut that big DJ. Let's cut that expense. It's the embarrassing hit, but you're protecting the business. Sometimes you get a little overconfident, right?
Yeah.
Or complacent. I think that's a big part of it, right? When you start doing a lot of deals that are successful, you start, I'm the master, I can do whatever I want, and then you start kind of like turning a blind eye to the tells that are telling you, hey, don't do that, hey, don't change, hey, adjust. So I think that's the and the more you fail, that's the thing, the more you fail, the more you understand these tells, and then understand how to analyze, realize that something's telling you to adjust and pivot. And I think that's the biggest take back.
Well, you were able to adjust and pivot to make money, right? For the Kanye thing that you're talking about. Now it sounds to me like you got to be able to adjust and pivot to also minimize losses.
And everything, of course. Yeah. Oh, God. Data is your best friend in business. I think that I believe a lot in, like, show me the numbers. Like, you can't make numbers up. The trends, the follows, like, and you can, we do some overnight changes sometimes that.
How do you stay up on the trends? Because you obviously, you've been, besides living it, right? I think we've all lived it, and we see the trends in our own eyes. But as you get older and you become more successful and you're seeing more projects and you're overseeing more stuff, you're looking at a lot of things. How do you pick up on like what's next? Because obviously you stay up on that.
You just gotta be vigilant to everything. Right? I'm very analytical. I'm when I'm driving, I'm looking at the billboards, I'm reading, I'm looking at things, and I just I have an open mind to kind of and I'm not that much of a creative, but I'm more creative in my idea. You see things, you're like, wow, that's cool, and you see one or two things, and you start kind of like, but as far as and sometimes you have to gamble on these trends. Like, hey, this is, we attempted to get into like the metaverse.
Yeah, of course. Right? Yeah, that was a trend. The NFTs in the metaverse.
Was a trend, and we were about to do a big convention, and it just started kind of like the news started kind of dying down, and we pulled back on it.
Yeah,
and thankfully we did, because I forget what it was, but it would have done well, right? So it's just, and now with AI, right? AI, we were like, hey, let's do an AI convention, but then AI is taking so many different spins that you don't know, so it is a matter of just, and sometimes you got to risk. You just have
to take the swing. At the end of the day, you have to take a couple swings.
Yeah.
Man. Well, listen, obviously with all the ups and downs, success wasn't a straight line. You've taken those hits. You've had some really great highs. You mentioned the Kanye event being one of the most memorable events you've ever done. Is there another memorable event that sticks out of your mind that's like, holy shit, I can't believe we pulled that off, or it was pretty amazing? Um, you know, I
So
think there's,
I think the other event that when you ask me that question, memorable events that we were really proud of is when we did the Pitbull New Year's Eve
oh wow,
for 4 years. And just because it was just a massive amount of people, it was a free Pitbull event in Bayfront Park, with the fireworks show, and we produced the VIP side of it. We had partners that produced the actual televised portion of it, but we did the food and beverage out there. And you're talking about at that time it was probably 80 to 100,000 people.
Jesus,
Very, very, there was no way of putting a door. It was just like a massive sea of people. And then we had, our 3,000 or 4,000 people in the VIP. And at that point, Pitbull was hotter than ever, right? He's still hot. So that was that. I think that, and then also I had a lot of family and friends that came out to that event. And I love to spend time with family and friends, especially during New Year's.
yeah, and they got this.
Special moment. So they had to see what we did, and I had to have fun with them. And so I have a lot of good memories, not just a memorable financial experience, but also and accomplishing business wise. But I had a lot of good memories with friends and family. So
It must have felt really good. You go there, you do something, you
Yeah.
bust your ass,
Yeah.
and then you have tens of thousands of people,
I got
celebrity performing. Your family and friends get to see it, and you had something to do with it.
I think
It must have felt really good.
yeah, it felt good. And like I said, you kind of have to like with this industry, you have the accomplishments that you see real time is what makes you it kind of like fuels you to do it again. And yeah.
Man, that's incredible. Well, listen, obviously, at least I know I have, but you come up, you've learned from people, you've applied it, you've now teaching people, and you're a mentor to many. Obviously, you lead a company that is extremely successful. Do you have any mentors or any people that kind of, if you believe, either paved the way or taught you some valuable lessons along the way?
Absolutely. I have two that come to mind, three. My current business partner is very experienced, older. I would say he's probably going to hate to hear this, but he's an older guy. He's had a lot of experience and he's been instrumental in what we've been able to build and the way I've grown in the business world. He's a numbers guy, data guy, and has taught me a lot. My first boss outside of my dad obviously has been in my family. My mom and dad have been, amazing at shaping and forming what I've been able to take off from. But I had my first boss outside of my dad was Al Garcia-Serra and in the advertising agency, and I was able to really learn a lot.
Got it.
That kind of like was like the difference maker, right? At that time, there was a lot of promoters, a lot of promoter groups, but I ended up coming in with this like more corporate agency approach.
Yep.
I think that was the determining factor of why I was able to leap out in front of, because I had that little bit. So I still sit with them once every quarter. I sit down and have lunch.
Yeah, of course.
A great wet lunch with him and their and yeah, it's but definitely I listen
Awesome.
to these guys, listen to the older guys. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do, right? They've taken the hits
They've
before.
taken the hits before. Yeah.
I guess it's a smart person learns from their mistakes, but a really smart person learns from other people's mistakes.
Yeah. That's how it goes. It goes. The Spanish saying says that el diablo más sabe el diablo por viejo de por diablo, right? I gotta get that one right.
Yeah. Well, two more things for you, brother. You're in Wynwood a lot. You pound the pavement. Your three favorite places in Wynwood that are not yours.
All right. Lunch, dinner.
Lunch, dinner, drinks, whatever your three favorite spots in Wynwood.
Cool. We're huge fans of Doya. We go to Doya very often for lunch and for dinner and for drinks sometimes and for meetings. Doya is great. I like Sparrow is excellent for dinner.
Yeah.
Sparrow is great. And it's just hard to say top 3. Like Joey's Italian, and those guys are friends.
Yeah.
We go there all the time.
We had lunch at Pastis. I thought that was
Steve's we go there really, really often. Really, really good things.
they had the burger there. It was freaking awesome.
It's fire, and I love how they came in with their concept and built it and invested really, really, really heavily in Wynwood, and
Yeah.
a big fan of Pastis
That's amazing.
and their team.
And their team.
Yeah.
What's next for Swarm, man? That's the big one.
Next for Swarm, man, we're working on a lot of partnerships with global brands. We're trying to do something different in the marketplace with a global partner, a brand that's known, globally, and
Awesome.
hopefully that works.
Can't wait to hear about that in the future.
Yeah, hopefully, and then also a national partner that we're doing a joint venture to expand the concession side.
Oh,
The
excellent.
event concession side, that's good, and just growing with what we have, right? Like we really need to focus on what we have and what's working, and more growth within that.
Awesome.
Yep.
Make another note now as a third cut. Anything else you want to plug in?
No,
Yeah, I think we talked about it a lot, right? We talked almost
20 minutes straight. That was
32,
good.
35. We can keep it at that. If there's anything else you want to
That's good. I liked it.
well then we'll sign it off now. Javi, man, you sharing and just catching up with you has been great, brother.
Thank you, man. Congratulations on all your success too. I'm happy and honored to be a part of this new venture, this podcast.
Oh man, thanks, dude. I think for us it was just about getting together with like-minded people. Rising tides, as you say, rise all ships.
Guys, all ships.
And I figured it was an opportunity for us to use our platforms to shine the light on success stories around South Florida and hospitality specifically, especially at a time where the hospitality business is constantly changing, and it's for a lot of people it's hurting, right? So I figured we could all help each other share some stories, and I'm glad you were able to share yours, and I'm sure you inspired quite a bit of people, and hopefully we'll get to hear more from you soon.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much. You're the line. Good.
And that's a wrap.
All right. That was good, bro.